Very good evening from Europe, 6th of July 2020. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Piotr here is Light Forex Global YouTube channel. US cash market is closed. Huge risk on Riley. Well, ISM, non-manufacturing PMI services, beat the estimation. Very positive day when it comes to the China. Everything is fine. Oh my. Well, someone somewhere is going to turn off the lights around the top. Well, the question is if it's going to happen within the next few weeks, if it's going to happen within the next few days, if it's going to happen within the next few months, years. Well, very possible, guys. Well, I've been watching very carefully because I've been so surprised what we've seen during the Asian hours. Been watching carefully. I got few ideas, and that's what I'm gonna to share with you right here, right now, post US cash close ahead of the Tokyo Open. So bear with me. We are going to start right here, right now. All right, folks. Well, let's start with indices. Nasdaq, monster rally, right? There was a market opened and immediately rally towards the Tokyo high, right? Then Europe and US cash open, some kind of the stabilization and 1-to-1, right? Well, with 1-to-1, a little bit of the bigger pullback. Now, one can argue it's something similar what we get here, but this one was much more aggressive. Anyway, when it comes to the Nasdaq, we are fighting with the new territory. So, well, simply have to be careful. To be honest with you, when I saw this type of the pullback, I've been thinking that we are going to go lower, and I've been thinking that the close, all about the close, is going to be around this post-Tokyo consolidation zone, inside this post-Tokyo consolidation zone. Anyway, let's clear that one. Let's switch to the daily chart, right? And what can we do here? Well, we can make some kind of the measures. Let's try to check what happened here with this lower shadow. I would be very careful trying to take into the consideration the whole move to the downside. But anyway, that's the new possible daily target based on the latest break to the upside when it comes to the Nasdaq, especially with Amazon hitting the 3,000. So in that case, we are talking about the levels close to 11,000 on the Nasdaq. Come on, why not? Why not? Plenty of liquidity on the market. Good thing is, trading, maybe not trading, medium term, I still have a short exposure when it comes to the indices, hurting me a bit, but well, we'll see what's going to happen. Anyway, depends on the tomorrow what's going to happen. I would like to see from the intraday perspective, right? There is a break to the upside. So what I would like to see, some kind of the retest of the latest weakness. What I mean by that? What I mean by latest weakness? Well, that was the latest weakness. That was the latest weakness. So in case of we are going to retest levels to close to 10,100, 10,000 psychological level, that might be some kind of the buying opportunity and something we discussed before. So looks like there is something more to come within the next day or two when it comes to the Nasdaq, and then, well, we will see what's going to happen, what's cooking, and where we are going to be towards the end of the week. The second one I'm going to discuss with you is, of course, S&P 500. Here it's completely different story. We are trying to fight. If you remember, we are talking, I've been telling you quite a few times, this range is gonna be the key. We're trying to hit the stops to the downside. Actually, we were trying to break to the downside. what's turned out to be just stop count. So for sure we are going to hit some stops to the upside. It could be that we are going to hit those stops during the Tokyo session, right? Well, that's good, because what? Because we have this supply going on, and 50% of that is a little bit higher. So if we are going to hit the stops and trying to visualize, well, I would like to see something like this tomorrow. Higher to go, but lowering level with upper shadow, maybe this type of the setup. Because here, compared to the Nasdaq, I'm still bearish, very bearish, whatever we want to call it. It could turn out that we might hit some stops above the high. That could be the case as well. In that case, the visualization is gonna looks like this, right? That could be the short setup. All right, that's it when it comes to the indices. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the FX perspective. Well, euro dollar, nothing extraordinary, still trading inside the tight range with upper and lower shadows. When it comes to the upper shadows, we are talking about well, that one. When it comes to the lower shadows, we are talking about this and that, right? Market was trying to go higher, 1350. We quite didn't get above some intraday stops. Well, it could be that we are going to retest some levels close to the post-level MCI. Well, that's what we discussed some time ago. Anyway, I think that it's more about the euro strength lately than the dollar weakness when it comes to the overall picture, and it's gonna be better visible in a second. So here, still the range, still what we discussed before, no change in view, selling the top of the range, buying the bottom of the range, unless we are going to see daily close above or below the range we discussed before. Anyway, dollar yen with this huge rally, when it comes to the risk I'm quite surprised we haven't seen more when it comes to the dollar yen, at least towards the levels close to 108, right? We've been trying to go higher during the Tokyo session, but Europe and US simply rejected that rally. So in that case, what we have to do, we have to make the measure. What's the easiest measure? Well, again, some kind of the 1-to-1. In that case, that was the move to the downside. Rally, the same. It's gonna bring us towards the latest weakness we've seen quite a few times already, and we are talking about the levels close to 107. Again, if you remember pre-non-farm payrolls analysis, I've been discussing 107 as a possible buying zone. Anyway, guys, it's the first time I'm going to say cheers. It's very late in Europe, so I can relax a bit with a small beer ahead of the end of the day. Anyway, let's try to continue. When it comes to the dollar yen, again, buying around 107, and I think we might see 108 being retested when it comes to the closing the business swing high on the daily chart over here, right? So looking for the weakness and retest of the 107, 106.80, and looking to the fade, the rise towards 108. That's how I see the dollar yen. Another one is a cable, nothing extraordinary here. I've been from the intraday perspective, I've been shorting the cable. Good thing is another upper shadow. Well, still, when we are going to take into the consideration the waves, we've seen attempt to break last Thursday, rejected Friday, a bit of recovery, trying to work with that high again today, right? The close is quite okay from my perspective, so I'm gonna to look for a selling opportunity when it comes to the cable. Well, so let's switch lower, let's switch to the 1 hour chart, what I'm gonna to look for. As long as we are above this lows, right? We are talking about the 24.75. I'm looking for that particular intraday range, right? Hourly range. So what I would like to see, I would like to see stop hunt to the upside, maybe during the Tokyo session. So attack on that level towards 25.10, 25.20. I would like to see, you know, maybe even taking out today's high, closing lower, upper shadow, visualization on the lower time frame is gonna be some kind of the possible supply based on Riley base drop, right? So that's gonna be the setup probably, and hopefully it's something we can get in Europe. Riley base drop, taking out the latest Riley and this type of the setup. Hopefully you are going to get that one during the European hours. And finally, we are going to have within the final hours of the Tokyo session, we are going to have Australian dollar gonna be in focus. RBA rate decision over the weekend. I did the full analysis, and looks like it's a great chance we might get what we are looking for, or what we were looking for, because even with this huge risk rally, Australian dollar is still under the huge supply, right? So either we are going to create this upper shadow and we are going to react here, or we are going to finish the business a little bit higher. So either we are going to start to fall from here or from the higher levels post the RBA. That's what we discussed. So you are more than welcome to visit the archive section and check the latest Saturday video where I'm preparing us and preparing trading plan for the Australian dollar. So that's how I see the things around the Australian dollar. Let's switch a little bit lower. Let's switch to the hourly chart here. Okay. And it's clearly visible that we might get the failure based on these highs. We might get the failure here, or we might retest over under, right? So I'm going to probably wake up earlier tomorrow to have a possibility to watch the setup on the Australian dollar, right? It's very similar when it comes to the EURUSD. Hopefully 160 is going to hold and we are going to see some kind of the rejection. Guys, with that being said, it was my pleasure to prepare this update for you. Again, have a great evening. Wake up tomorrow very early and let's have a look what we have when it comes to RBA. Cheers guys, see you around.